Hi, it's Gene Trowbridge, and welcome to our presentation of Sell the Sizzle. This is an approach that I used when I was raising money for my own syndications, and an approach that I've taught and helped other of my clients now that I'm a lawyer doing syndication work in how to develop a database of people who are willing to put their money with you in the opportunities you present to them. So, Sell the Sizzle is the title, of course, and there's a little information about me. I'm a syndication attorney. I was a syndicator for a long time, so I have the experience, the practical experience combined with the legal experience to put these offerings together in a way that they're attractive to the investors. I wasn't always a lawyer. I went to law school when I was 45 after my career as a syndicator, and I've been doing that for quite a few years now, and I really enjoy this part of the industry. Where this fits is in my really recipe of what to do if you're going to be a syndicator, primarily for the newer people. The second step in my recipe is to develop a database. I'm suggesting your database has 50 investors, and today a standard minimum investment amount in the syndications we do is $50,000. So if you have a database of 50 investors, each with a 50% chance of investing $50,000 with you, you'll have a good start. Now, maybe you want to have $25,000 investors. Well, then you probably need 100 of them in your database to go ahead and start your offering. And everyone in your database, you should be asking constantly if they have any referrals for you. That would be good. So the question now is, how does Sell the Sizzle, how does that approach help you get people in your database with a 50% chance of investing? Now, not everyone is going to invest with you when you get the right offering out there. People have weddings, they go on vacation, there are things that happen. They might have found another deal in the meantime. But if you had a 50% success rate of getting investors going, you'd be pretty darn good. So let's see what Sell the Sizzle is all about. It's all about 4 steps. Sell the sizzle of real estate, the sizzle of your part of the real estate world. Sell the sizzle of having you handle the investor's money, and then the sizzle of the deal. Let's start at the beginning, the sizzle of real estate. You need to put people in your database who want to invest in real estate, not cryptocurrency, not racehorses, not solar panels. They want to invest in real estate if that's what you're going to be in. If you're watching this and you're in racehorses, well, then you want people who want to invest in racehorses. But real estate is primarily where this goes. And I think you need to show people the opportunities provided by investing in real estate. Not everyone has invested in real estate, so you're going to have to do some qualifications, some training, and you're going to show people that maybe you're not going to invest, or they're not going to invest 100% of their money in real estate. But real estate is a good investment for diversification. Everyone should have some real estate in their portfolio. And then I always like to tell the people that I thought real estate was the ideal investment, and the acronym of IDEAL covered a lot of things that you could talk about in real estate. Hopefully we're going to buy some real estate that produces income because the rent will be greater than the expenses. That's good. In real estate, we can take depreciation. That's a benefit from the tax code that, to start out with, is being used to shelter from income tax payment all the income that the project makes. Maybe the depreciation can take you farther than just income from the property, but just by sheltering the income from this investment, depreciation is quite valuable. Equity buildup. While your tenants are paying the rent, you're making the mortgage payments. That's going to build up your equity. That's going to be great. Appreciation. We certainly are in a period now, as I'm recording this, where we've had 10, 12 years of appreciation, and no one sees that it's going to stop at any time. So don't miss out on the ability to buy a piece of real estate that's going to go up in value and use leverage to buy it. Using leverage from institutional investors is good because debt is cheaper than equity. So you should borrow whatever you feel comfortable in your offering and using that leverage to buy a property. And then as appreciation goes, your portion of the equity is appreciating pretty fast. So it's ideal from the income, the depreciation, the equity buildup, the appreciation, and the leverage point of view. So it makes sense to me that the first thing you have to do is fill up your database looking for people who want to at least invest some of their money in the real estate industry. Once you've identified someone who agrees with you that the sizzle and the opportunities investing in real estate are there, now you have to step forward and you have to tell them what part of the real estate industry do you see that presents opportunities and that you're an expert in it. You know, today the world is pretty specialized. We have people who do multifamily, self-storage, mobile home parks. We have people who buy existing products. We have people who build. We have people who renovate. So there's a lot of areas of opportunity in the real estate industry, and you have to figure out what have you done in your past that qualifies you for saying, you know, I've done so much of this. I'm a house flipper. I've done 100 houses. I bought 5 or 6 apartment buildings on my own. I built 1 or 2 self-storages on my own, or I've invested in deals as a co-sponsor with people who've done that. You've got to be able to sell the sizzle of your expertise in whatever part of the real estate market you've decided presents the opportunities to your investors. Show the opportunities you see and be pretty concise and show the solutions that you see. My background was self-storage. The opportunities were the communities that we were living in here in Southern California were growing like crazy. There was no place for people to store the stuff that they had. Houses were getting smaller, very little storage. Many condos didn't even have a garage, so we needed to provide storage. I knew there was an imbalance of supply and demand. And I also knew that there were a number of investors out there who didn't want to just own self-storage for the monthly income it provided, but maybe wanted to invest some money into the construction of self-storage facilities, and then we can sell them to someone else who wanted to run them. And that's what we did. Typically, my minimum investment amounts were $100,000, and I wasn't looking for people who wanted to collect a quarterly check to buy groceries. I was looking for someone who in a 2 or 3 year period would see their money double or more. And that's what we were doing. We were building equity in the syndication of new construction self-storage. So I picked an area, and now the question is, am I an expert in that area, or do I build a team that makes me an expert? And so the third part of the sizzle is to the sizzle of having you manage the investor's money. What are your individual credentials? How are you going to be the person that they're going to say, this is great, I'm going to give Gene my money. I'm going to invest with Gene and let him manage it. What about the team? In my world, I didn't know an awful lot about pouring concrete. I knew about supply and demand analysis. I knew how to identify sites. But the construction project, I was part of the project I was weak on. So I went out and found a contractor who poured a lot of concrete. And we teamed up in our team and poured concrete, tilled up self-storage facilities. And so I had a great team. We had a manager, we had someone who knew how to do the contracting, and we had myself as an overall member of the team. So then I had to show that I had a core group that could take the investors' money, all the investors' money, and put it to work where the opportunities were and seize on the opportunity to convert all that into a money-making venture. And as we grew, we were able to show our track record, show the results of our team and what we did. To start out with, we didn't have a track record. I had some educational background. I had some strong real estate background. The gentleman I brought in for the pouring of the concrete had a very strong concrete construction background. And so we molded all that into the story of an excellent team who could do what we said we wanted to do: identify some opportunities, seize the opportunities, and make our investors some money. And so the last step of selling the sizzle is selling the sizzle of your particular deal. Well, I think this is so important in this method of doing it, and this is number 4, this is the last step, is if you do it this way, by the time you have a deal to show to the people in your database, you know you're talking to real estate investor wannabes. You know that they're into your multifamily world of specialty or whatever it is, and they know they bought into you as a team. That goes a long way, first of all, of proving that you have a substantive relationship with your investor, and it goes a long way to the fact that when you present an offer to them, chances are it's just what they're looking for. You've trained them to look for something like this. So you have the offering. It's a lot of pages. It might be 200 pages long, but pick 3 or 4 benefits from the offering to show the investor. How does providing the solutions you've identified here make the investor money? How does providing the solution of finding locations, building self-storage, getting them 50% occupied, and selling them to the professional storage owners make your investor money? How can your team manage the process? So we can find the location, we can pour the concrete, we can get the project sold, and we have investors. We know who the players are to buy the project from us. After you've explained it, ask the questions of the investors. What questions do they have of your offering? If you've done the first 3 steps, there won't be all that many questions because they're educated in real estate. You're part of real estate, your team. And now we just have to see if this is the one that they want to invest. Is their life such that at this time, when you offer the investment to them, they have the $50,000 or $100,000 necessary to invest? And so what was good about this for me is I built databases, my database, on the first 3 steps. And then I found offerings and I went out and sold the offerings. Before I knew this approach, I would start with the offering, and I'd be finding myself talking to people who didn't want to invest in real estate, really didn't know anything about the self-storage industry, and didn't know anything about me and my team. And here I'm asking them for $100,000. Not the best way to be successful. So I want you to understand that this approach of selling the sizzle is a great way to build your database with people who will accept your offering when it's presented to you, to them, when it's presented to them. Sizzle real estate, you're part of the real estate, having you manage the money and the sizzle of your deal. Now, I have a book. Some of you probably have an older edition of this book. The 4th edition is out. It's called It's a Whole New Business. And in here, I give a lot of technical stuff about what you need to be involved in the syndication business. And I do talk a little bit about my approach of selling the Sizzle. The book's available at Amazon. You can just search the title, It's a Whole New Business, or search my name, Gene Trowbridge. It's available in hard copy or Kindle. And if you have any questions about this or anything else in the syndication business, we invite you to call the office. There's a general number. We invite you to go to our website and sign up for a half-hour free consultation with Jonathan, my law partner, or myself. And of course, stay at YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see all the good interviews we have of people who, just like you, have gone out and made themselves a success in the syndication business. And people who are supportive of our industry and supportive of the things that we do. So that'd be a good idea. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next YouTube video. Thank you.